Good afternoon. Here's your Thursdays with Thoth. Thoth Tarot for the collective. Today, I asked the cards to speak to us about an important transit that's occurring today. Uranus stationing retrograde. And Uranus's retrograde begins today at 14 degrees Taurus and ends on January 18th of 2022 at 10 degrees Taurus. Now, there's a lot of 5 energy this year. This is a 5 year, and there's some other planets that are doing some things at 14 degrees as well. And then of course we have the full moon coming up this weekend. And that 14 degree energy is very, it's that middle degree. It's that energy of, transformation and radical change and awakenings and enlightenments. And that, that really is what Uranus and Taurus is. This retrograde is, it's usually associated with inner changes in response to those external changes. Perhaps there's tower moments. There's a lot of big shifts that are changing. And this retrograde is bringing, this excitement, this initiative, this curiosity, this sense of adventure. And that's also pinging off a lot of that full moon and Aquarius energy as well. So, Uranus retrograde, it's this time of, again, it's like inner change in response to those external changes. So you may have anticipated a major change in your life or tried to initiate this change, but perhaps you've been feeling stuck or stagnant. And in this case, now this Uranus retrograde will induce the internal changes in your attitude or your thought patterns or behaviors, which are necessary to be able to make that desired change a possibility, And often those changes that you're seeking are going to give you more personal freedom, because that's what Uranus and Taurus is really about. And, it's like, whatever the case, this will let you to kind of go through your process and, integrate things and go through things internally before you go out and manifest the external changes once Uranus turns direct again. So, there's another energy too that probably you've been feeling like very disruptive, very rebellious, trying to force this radical change, this huge change. And some of this is also, pinging off this Aquarius full moon energy as well, because we're in between those 2 full moons in Aquarius. So it's really interesting and very powerful that Uranus is making this transit of retrograde right before we get into this next Aquarius full moon. So, maybe you've had this revolution energy that was based on perhaps things that you didn't know, the innocence of youth. And as Uranus turns retrograde, this brings like more of your higher self and, more of that self-awareness and insights about, the places in which you maybe made certain errors, and you'll be feeling this period where these internal changes are not quite as chaotic. So, Mercury trining Uranus too is kind of helping to make these things a reality too. It's like, because you can open your mind to new possibilities. It's bringing you curiosity and inventiveness and flexibility, and your intuition, your psychic gifts are opening. And it's allowing you to take advantage of these exciting changes with the new information that you're receiving from them and these unexpected opportunities. So it's a lot easier to make those changes, to adapt to them. And again, it's like less chaos. This is a good chance to make new friends, to form new soul tribes as well. Again, pinging off that Aquarius moon. Chance encounters with eccentric people and people that can stimulate and excite you. And, that increase in communication through the internet is likely. So this is a good time to maybe learn new skills with technology or science or astrology or things like that. And it's also a good time to change those outdated beliefs, those negative behaviors, those bad habits. So, it's time to take that daring initiative. It's time to match your increased desire for excitement and fiery energy. So it's, you know, it's really just a beautiful energy right now. So I guess, you know, what I asked the cards to speak to us about, you know, what is something really important about this powerful transit here, you know? And again, leading up to this full moon. And I will also be attempting to do a full moon reading, if all goes as planned, amidst my vacation travels. So we pull the Knight of Swords. This is absolutely beautiful. And this Knight of Swords is, you know, he's very, again, it's like that intelligence, that active mind, that longing for knowledge, the spirit of the storm. And, you know, it's like there's this beautiful intellectual intelligence, this abstract thinking, this intuition energy that's coming through with him. And, you know, he's representing all of that beautiful dynamic creativity and the objectivity of the air elements, you know? So again, it's like he's got this sword in his hand, and then he's got the dagger in the other. And he's moving through paradise with the speed of the wind. And he's one with that spirit of the storm. And he's representing the spreading fire of mind. It's corresponding to that perception of the universe that, you know, that all things are interconnected. And this is that Aquarius energy too. And that in the universe, all tangible things that existed in one blink then can quickly disappear. So, you know, instead of discovering that the truth is hidden behind reflections, the Knight of Air is often, you know, representing those desires to understand the truth through intellectual means and controlling the emotions. And, you know, these are reflected images of instinct through a sense of consciousness. And then he's got these swallows, and those are symbols for the capacity of the mind to rise up in perception, to you know, it's like that Uranus awakening energy, that higher self-awareness, that being able to like see the big picture too. And, you know, I guess you could say that he's that beautiful awareness that, you know, he knows those contradictions that only appear in our minds, in which, you know, he's the one that builds the steps leading to wisdom, helping us to find the formula hidden behind everything. So during this period, we can develop these great analytical abilities, which help us to understand the problems, to see the big picture of things, to understand ourselves and understand our surroundings better. So, you know, again, this card can also speak to that, you know, eloquence, intelligence, graceful wit. This can be about, you know, being that entrepreneur, having that connection with people in a social way that's very powerful. And this is someone who's creative and changeable as well. And I guess you could say that, you know, maybe you're feeling a little restless, and and some of that energy, it goes along with this astrology too. You're locating and trying to go somewhere else in your life, or you're trying to travel. But as we get this beautiful Mercury trine Uranus energy and Venus and Libra, it's like this is that time to listen to your mind rather than your heart. Some people are more comfortable with the thoughts in their heads than expressing their feelings, but it's like this is a time when you can kind of balance things out. Maybe you need to be sensitive and assertive. You know, maybe there's restrictions that you need to get rid of, and you need to look for those things to help you feel freer. Again, this is that Uranus and Taurus energy. And, you know, in relationships too, he can kind of speak of, you know, people going back and forth with each other and kind of exhibiting this like draining energy. And it's like you need to, you're hoping that you can perhaps be able to rise above those confusing clouds, you know, be able to rise above this darker energy. And as we approach the full moon and as we finish out all of these retrogrades, it's like, step into the confidence to reach your goal, you know, and be open to being mentally sharp and assertive and using your mind and putting it to good use, and, you know, challenging yourself mentally as well, so you're not getting stuck and you're not going around in those circles and you're not stagnating as well. And, you know, he's got this to me also, he kind of, I see this energy, like when I look at him quickly, it almost looks like these are like dragonfly wings. You know, it's absolutely beautiful. And it's like he's going through such transformation, and that's what this energy is about as well. And if you look at him, this is the fiery part of air, and it rules from 21 degrees Taurus to 20 degrees Gemini. So there is some Taurus energy here, and he has this power to cut through things. He's at the cutting edge of consciousness. He's got this beautiful discipline, and again, it's like he's involved in these matters of justice. I feel like Venus and Libra is kind of impacting this energy as well. And things are being balanced out, you know, he's balancing things out. And again, it's like he's got this beautiful authority, this embodiment of discipline and order. And, you know, because of, he's got this dual nature too, with Gemini affecting this energy, he can either absorb his or her entire life in this concentrated aspiration, or go the entirely opposite way, and again, become incapable of making those decisions. And it's like, you know, I feel like more this is the dynamic power of Taurus that's really helping him to ground things down, you know? So it's like he's got this beautiful energy where he's has this passionate thinking, you know? He's very passionate, but it's like he's able to still create that beautiful union between his mind and his heart. With all his action, everything that he's doing is going in this one united direction. So this is like reminding us that beautiful focus, that beautiful work, that will, that intention, everything is being aligned to achieve that one goal. And again, this is like he's creating this balance. This female is magnetic force and male is electric force, and both must be combined to create this unity, you know. And this also represents the four directions, you know, the four levels of consciousness: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. So he really represents this incredible power of motion applied to air. So he's it's like, again, he's like that lightning bolt of an idea. And this is that Uranus and Taurus too. It's like that Tower card energy where you're just coming in and you're getting this beautiful epiphany. And it's like, you know, it's like he can represent the true will of the soul exploding the mind spontaneously. Like, you know, it's like there's this energy of like adjusting your identity too. It's like you're adjusting your identity to be able to accommodate the expansion and liberation of the living from this poverty of self-imposed energies, you know? And like take time to love being yourself for, you know, so you can feel the ideas that are coursing within you and restructure them to care for them, rather than like sacrificing things to those ideas as well. Finding that beautiful balance. And, you know, it's this beautiful wisdom of learning and understanding and coming together to, you know, to know like why you're feeling pulled to make certain decisions, and why you're, you know, why you're moving forward in certain directions, and then be able to also be open to switching those directions of thoughts as well. You know, be able to be open to transforming your thought patterns. And, you know, again, it's like releasing those thought patterns that are limiting to you, and letting go of those old beliefs that no longer serve you, again with this full moon. And, you know, you can see new points of view while you're brainstorming new thoughts that enter your mind as well. And it's like that multitasking, that analytical energy. And, you know, it's like being both delicate and courageous, while also being prey of your inspirational ideas, and not questioning yourself, and you know, just flowing through that air energy, and just ever expanding and ever growing and ever evolving. And yeah, it's like freeing yourself, liberating yourself, revolutionizing the entire way that you perceive yourself and your place in this world as well. So it's very powerful energy. But I hope this helped you. And, you know, it is a lot of transformation energy heading up to this full moon. And, you know, I feel like after we get past this moon, it's like that clarity towards purpose, that clarity of, you know, that those connections that are falling away and new connections that are being made, and all of these things, you'll start to see the bigger picture after we get through this full moon. It's really beautiful energy, honestly. You know, if you're looking to free yourself in a myriad of ways, tap into this energy right now, because it's here. And, you know, you can free yourself in a very balanced way. You know, it doesn't have to be that radical tower moment of pain. It can be a beautiful, slow, guided, divinely guided, thoughtful shift in your life. And it can come about after just a sudden awareness, a sudden awakening that really puts things in perspective for you. It's a really nice energy. So I'm going to end it with the singing bowl. Blessed be.